Hi, my name is Kelly Fox, and I am the Financial Planning Coordinator at Central Penn College. I just want to review with you some financial aid facts for the 21-22 financial aid year. Where do you start? The first thing the student and at least one parent need are an FSA ID and password. This is how you sign all of your financial aid documents electronically. You'll go to the website, you'll create a username and password. You will need an email address and cell phone number and to answer 4 challenge questions. FSA will then both email you and text you a code to ensure that your information is correct. It will take about 1 to 3 business days to validate your information with the Social Security Administration, so you might not be able to use it immediately once created. FAFSA. It is the free application for federal student aid. You can complete it at FAFSA.gov or download the My Student Aid app. Never pay to complete the FAFSA form. The 21-22 FAFSA will open on October 1st, and it is for anyone who is starting school after July 1st of 2021. When you log into the FAFSA website, you are using the student's FSA ID and password. It is their FAFSA form. So what goes on the FAFSA? The FAFSA will use the parent who the student lives with and their 2019 tax information. If there's joint custody, it is the parent who supports the child more than 50% that needs to be listed on the FAFSA form. Students are required to have parents on the FAFSA form unless they meet the following criteria. They're over the age of 24, they're a veteran enrolled in a graduate or professional program, which is a master's or doctorate, married, or if they are a ward of the court or have a legal guardian. What actually goes on the FAFSA form? Student demographics, name, birth date, social security number, and address. The school selection is where the students can list up to 10 schools to receive the information on the FAFSA. Only the schools listed will receive this information, and students can change this at any time. They will then answer questions about their dependency status, and then parent demographic. Again, name, birth date, social security information, and then who in the household that you support more than 50%. For this FAFSA form, again, you will be using your 2019 tax information. The IRS data retrieval tool will allow you to pull all of the information from the IRS directly onto the FAFSA form. You will do this using your FSA ID and password. There are many benefits to the IRS data retrieval tool. If you are randomly selected for verification, you will not be required to submit tax transcripts from the IRS. We will have that information already. Financial aid is processed quicker since we know that they automatically process the information from the IRS and it wasn't manually entered by the family. And you certainly don't need to scan your entire tax return to find all of the answers for the FAFSA. So what are some tricks of the trade? The first thing is to answer every question on the FAFSA, even if you think that it's insignificant. For instance, the first question is, are you male or female? If this question is skipped, FAFSA will automatically assume male and ask the student to register with Selective Service. So please answer every question on the FAFSA form. Make sure that you enter your high school name, city, and state. This helps FEA, the state grant agency, process your eligibility faster. When it asks a student if they have their first bachelor's degree, they do not. Please answer that question no. We understand they're working on a bachelor's degree, but they do not have it yet, and this does make a difference for grant eligibility. Parents do not count in the number in college, even if they are taking full-time classes. Read each question on the FAFSA. FAFSA will pre-complete some questions with a 0, but FAFSA does not know your financial situation. And students do not need to be accepted to college to submit the FAFSA. The earlier you submit it, the better, so the faster the schools can get your award letter out to you. We don't have grant amounts yet for the 21-22 FAFSA year, but this is the grants that we're processing currently for the 2021 year. When you complete the FAFSA, you will receive an expected family contribution. If it's somewhere between 0 and 5712, the student does qualify for a federal Pell Grant, somewhere between $639 and $6,345 for the year. The FEA is our state grant agency. If you're a Pennsylvania resident attending a Pennsylvania college, FEA will determine the amount of your eligibility. The schools do not determine this. And then the federal SEOG grant is, again, through each individual college. Each school has their own funding amounts. Funds are typically limited, so again, apply for the FAFSA early, and you must be Pell Grant eligible to receive this grant. FIA. FIA is the state grant agency. So if you're a Pennsylvania resident considering a Pennsylvania college, you will be considered for this grant. They do have a deadline of May 1st. You must have the FAFSA submitted by May 1st to be considered for this grant. There is additional paperwork that you'll need to complete to verify your Pennsylvania residency. They will email you this information to the email that you listed on the FAFSA. So be sure that the FAFSA email that you listed is one that you check. You must successfully complete a percentage of your courses each year to receive this state grant. And before the pandemic, they did require that students take at least 50% of their classes on ground. That was the rule pre-pandemic. It is being evaluated currently. Most students attending college do need to take out student loans. Student loans are loans in the student's name only. You do not have to be 18 to receive this loan. You simply need to complete the entrance counseling and master promissory note saying that you understand you're borrowing money and you know that you will pay it back at graduation. There are two different types of student loans. Subsidized, where the government pays the interest on the loan while the student is enrolled, and unsubsidized, where the government will send interest statements quarterly. We recommend, if you can, that you do pay the interest so it isn't capitalized at repayment. The government does limit how much students can borrow, so a freshman dependent student is eligible for $5,500 and an independent student is eligible for $9,500. As you progress through your degree, you will qualify for additional student loan funding. When the student loans and the grants and the scholarships don't cover everything, there are parent loans to help parents cover the remaining balance on a student's tuition bill. A parent loan through the federal government is in the parent's name only. You cannot co-sign this with a student, you can't add this to a student to this account, and you can't pass this loan off to a student. It is in your name only. There is a credit check, and you can borrow the cost of attendance, so you can cover the tuition bill if you're willing to borrow this loan in your name for the student's education. If you're not eligible for the loan, the student will then qualify for additional student loan money in their own name. If you're interested in this loan, you'd go to the same website the students do, studentloans.gov, but you would log in as a parent with your parent FSA ID and password, submit the PLUS application, and you will know immediately if the loan is approved or denied. If it's approved and it's a loan that you're willing to borrow, you would then submit the PLUS master promissory note, and the school could then process that loan for you. If you're not willing to borrow the money in your own name, but willing to co-sign, there are private loans that students can borrow with any creditworthy co-signer. It doesn't have to be a parent, but it can be. We always tell families, watch the interest rate and check the fee structure, and definitely ask the college for guidance on who they recommend. Every college works with different lenders. They do typically require additional documentation, which is W-2s, driver's license, anything to validate the income you listed, and applications are typically processed within 24 hours. So you won't know immediately if it's approved or declined, but you will know within the day. If you are planning to use a private loan and it is approved, notify the school so we can watch for it to come through and process it for your student's account. Work study. Every school handles work study differently. If you don't see work study listed on the award letter, reach out to the school and find out how they administer the program. Some will definitely get listed on the award letter. Some will actually pay the students each pay period a paycheck, so the student has their own money in their account. Typically, minimum wage are limited with hours each week, and if a student doesn't qualify for work study, there are typically part-time jobs on campus that they can still find. Scholarships. Never pay for a scholarship search. If it says pay $100 guaranteed to win $1,000, it will always be a scam. Definitely check the college website for how to apply to scholarships and deadlines. Check with student and parent employers, guidance offers, and any community involvement that you have. Most scholarships can be combined and some can even be matched. Award letters. Award letters are from the school, so only the schools listed on the FAFSA will send these. It will list your grants, scholarships, and loans. Make sure that you understand the total cost of the school when reviewing your award letter, and call the school with questions. Comparing award letters really helps families make educated decisions about their child's education. If you have any questions on the financial aid process, it's always important to reach out to the financial aid office. We are here to help. Thank you.